This is for members only. And I'm proud to say that I come straight from the block. I'm from a place where if you're not blessed to eat with a fork, you just gotta connive your way to the top.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
You ain't nothing but a...
Welcome to another edition of The Buck Stops Here. I am your host, Hound Dog Buck 50, one of the illest, if not the illest battle rapper in the game, here to bring you the latest in battle rap news. This week, we're going to be recapping Jey the Nitewing versus Ru Bando, Ultimate Madness style. Let's get it. I am your host, Hound Dog Buck 50. I hope everybody out there is doing good, doing well. I'm doing good. I'm blessed. Let's talk about this Ultimate Madness. We got 1 week left, and we all waiting for Jey the Nitewing versus Fonz. Shout out to both and best wishes to both. But right now, we're going to talk about the battle that already happened. Jey the Nitewing versus Ru Bando. Now, as we go back to the prior weeks, Jey the Nitewing won versus, what was the guy, Sick? I think his name was Sick, right? He won that first week against him. And then the next week he won. Man, I'm trying to keep up with all these names of who he beat the next week. Oh, man, my mind is tripping, bro. You got to forgive me. I've watched all of it, but it'll come back to me as I'm talking. But nevertheless, this week he battled, Lou Castro. That's who it was, Lou Castro. He had a good battle with Lou Castro. He took that one. I gave Lou Castro one of the rounds. I think I gave Lou the first. But nevertheless, you know, Jey been doing his thing. Ru Bando, on the other hand, was not that impressive, you know. I'll be the first to tell you I wasn't familiar with Ru Bando. And I watched battle rap, but unfortunately I can't catch everything. So that's me saying I never heard of Ru Bando is not a discredit to him. Maybe it's a knock on myself. Maybe I just don't watch enough battle rap, but it's hard to catch everything. You know, but what I did see of him, I had to go by what I saw. I was like, I'm not feeling this dude. But, you know, regardless of how you want to put it, he advanced, you know, against Gunpowder Pat, who wasn't that impressive. Gunpowder Pat, you know, never really been that impressive, but it is what it is. Then against Your Honor choked. Your Honor he was not prepared. But nevertheless, Ru Bando won, however you want to call it. So that brings us to this. Jey the Nitewing versus Ru Bando. Now, I always like to say that for me, sometimes, unless it's just like that obvious, I always like to watch a battle twice, at least twice. Because when you're watching it live, sometimes it's hard to take everything in because everything is just, it's happening so quick. It's like when you see, you're watching a fight, or you're watching a particular round in a boxing match, and the dude throws a 15-punch combination, and you get so excited. And then in between rounds where they showed slow motion, you like, damn, like 12 of them missed. But when it was live, it looked like they all connected. And that's where you have to sometimes watch it back to make sure what you thought you saw is what you really saw, or what you thought you heard is what you heard. So let's start it off. Jey the Nitewing goes first. His first round was solid. Jey the Nitewing is he's proven to be mentally strong because he had some issues with choking in quite a few battles, and it was looking bleak, at least to me, you know. I'm a fan, but I'm more of a realist than some people, so my patience sometimes gets a little testy, but, you know, I can't knock him. He overcame that. His first round was strong, very strong. Ru Bando's bottom of the first was Ru Bando. And he didn't choke, but he had a moment there where he was repeating his lyrics. Sounded like he was going to choke, but he didn't choke. So now we go to the second. Now this is a round that for myself, I had to watch it a few times because mostly everybody said Ru Bando took the round, and I don't have no problem with that. But my whole thing is, I don't want to give Ru Bando the round based off of peer pressure because everybody else said he won the round. I need to make sure I'm making the right decision. So when I first saw it, I'm like, I don't think Ru Bando did all that. I think I give Jey the Nitewing that round, right? But I said, you know what? That second watch, I watched it. I'm like, still not sure. And even before I did the blog, I said, let me put on my headphones so I can get a different effect, really listen. And after listening closely, I gave Ru Bando that round. He definitely showed up. He had the heart of the champion in round 2. So now, it's like anybody's battle. It's 1-1 going into the third. Jey the Nitewing takes a different approach. He takes the approach of like, I only wrote 2 rounds for you, and basically telling him like, even if I choke, it's only to let you finish. And they're basically going to come up with an excuse for me to win. That was kind of like his theme in the third. It was a very casual stroll through the park type of a third. So now it's like, I don't know, Jey Nitewing, you leave it. He left the door wide open for Ru Bando. Wide open for Ru Bando to pull off the Buster Douglas upset of the tournament. Ru Bando winning this third, and not too long in, he choked. He tried to get it back, but he never got the momentum back. And at that point, with the stutter being what it was, the choke or whatever you want to call it, it was too late at that point to get it back. So Jey the Nitewing thus advances against Fonz. And Jey the Nitewing explained his theory for why he, did what he did. He said because he knew no one was coming up, he didn't want to necessarily write all his best stuff. I think he was banking on Ru Bando not being that impressive. But man, Jey the Nitewing, you took a chance with that one, bro. You took a chance. And I understand what you're saying, but it's like, how do you plan ahead for something you haven't won yet? You know what I mean? But this one, regardless how you want to put it, he advanced, so it all worked out in his favor. So now what lies ahead for him is a meeting with Mr. Fonz from Cleveland, and that should be a goodie for $25K. Hopefully there's no chokes, no muttering, no nothing. I would love nothing more than to see the cleanest performance from both, because this is like a game 7 in a NBA finals. This should live up to the hype. We don't want to see a lackluster performance for all the marbles. Show us why the series was 7 games. And I'm going to do a blog later on about who I pick for that. But that's another discussion. So in the meantime, peace, love, and whatever else you think about.